Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Wally Weasel. And here we are with, well, thoughts on episode 4 of the Fallout TV show. This isn't going to be a breakdown or anything like that. This is more or less going to be a bit of a light celebration and, some light theories going forward. Things that I'm interested in, things that I'm kind of losing track of, because it seems like they hit all the beats, at least in terms of progressing all the stories in this one episode. So there was a lot of back and forth, rapid fire style inside of 40 minutes. So, very impressive. We got to see more of what's going on with the Vault 31 people, more of Vault 32, even Vault 33 is getting a bit of a side story. We saw more of the Ghoul and Lucy, and of course, we saw more Brotherhood drama. Sorry, I'm gonna clear my throat. I'm just trying to get through here. So, we'll talk about each one, starting off with the Vault 31 survivors, or settlers, I guess. You just call them. They all survived, obviously. And I don't know. I think of all of them, this is the one I'm least interested in at the moment. I know it's been very basic thus far, but it seems like there's going to be a bit of a power struggle, and this whole second phase thing is honestly, to me, the only thing that's keeping this being a bit intriguing. If there was no second phase and it was just a power struggle between Bud's former assistant and I don't even care so much to remember his name, the brother, then I probably would just be kind of tuning out from that storyline personally, And then we have Vault 33, and the only reason I would say that's intriguing is because it kind of involves Vault 32, so it is a bit of a double story there, and it seems that the water chip was not fixed, and Betty is not doing too well in as overseer. Her approval rating, as pointed out, is dipping down, and rations are being limited, except for a certain club where, so it seems as though there might be a power grab, a bit of a, I don't know if it'd be a non-violent mutiny type deal, but we would see. That mutiny could go either way, to be honest. People who are loyal to Betty may just go after we'll just call it the inbred club, or it could be the other way around, straight for power. We will see. So I think that's kind of where they're going with that. And then, of course, Vault 32, we find out that we have our Canadian character, and she's evil because she's Canadian. Canadians, the most evil people in the world. Yeah, I'm still kind of trying to figure that out. I don't know why it got so suspenseful, to be honest. I know Canada was annexed and all that other stuff, and that there was talks of, resistance forces fighting back and all that stuff, but her ID was just like a ID, so it didn't really label her as much of anything, and it's not like her name changed, I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong, but wasn't it always Stephanie Harper? Because I checked the casting as I was watching it, and it did say just Stephanie Harper, and then I checked the thing there, and her ID, and nothing really different. So I guess Canadian people are just evil in the Fallout universe. And and then obviously Lucy is high off of buff out. Personally, my character's drug of choice was Jet, and then Ultra Jet, because Jet just wasn't doing it anymore. But buff out, get some buff out, some love. It did make sense for Lucy to then go on a bit of a rampage against the King's ghouls, which did kind of suck. And it would have been kind of interesting if that last ghoul she killed wasn't actually a ghoul. It was just a normal person trying to get away, but her bloodlust just pushed her towards the edge. And yeah, you know, you can still have it like where she doesn't really notice or what have you. But still, it would have been rather interesting. And then, of course, the Deathclaw, playing with the Deathclaw. Sorry, I'm scratching Sergeant Whisker's head. And he looks like a big boy. So yeah, and it does look like they kind of tweaked out the scene for the trailer, which isn't, you know, unheard of. They do that a lot because they want to hide stuff. But it looks like my theory of an independent Vegas may be true, and that's kind of good, because obviously if Mr. House were in charge, I doubt that he'd have allowed Vegas to go in such a state in such a short amount of time, especially to like ghouls and Deathclaws. No offense to Deathclaws, you know, if you're watching, but I don't think you would be able to handle that many Securitrons in a closed-knit environment. Just saying, you know, don't come at me, Deathclaws. You know, yes, my comments are open, but you know. So yeah, a bit surprised there, but at the same time, not so much, because yay, it may just confirm my independent New Vegas ending theory. And of course, we do see there in the credits that I believe the Legion got as far as McCarran. So, but again, the credits are credits. And then yeah, aside from that, we have the Brotherhood drama, which is, it kind of went a way I didn't expect it would, because Maximus is now kind of becoming a Brotherhood rogue, and yeah, so I don't know if they're going to continue on showing stuff from the Brotherhood base, or if they're just going to focus in on Maximus. I think if they're going to focus in on the base, it would kind of be the Civil War storyline, though I think I wouldn't be too upset if they skipped that and just kind of showed it afterwards, you know, like the after effects, and maybe the last season where we see the Commonwealth Brotherhood coming in, and you see like the remnants of the West Coast Brotherhood standing there like, oh my god, they're here. Like that would be fine with me if we don't see any of them again until the final episode and just that one scene, because we don't need another storyline thrown on top of things. And honestly, I don't really see much point of a storyline there to begin with. I don't know what's going to happen with Maximus now and Thaddeus, although Thaddeus becoming a potential mutant is still maybe on the table, because yeah, last week I said I was a little upset that they kind of turned Thaddeus into a comedy character and just seemed like they're sweeping him under the rug. They kept him up with a comedy character and kind of made the Brotherhood a bit questionable. To see a paladin of all people struggling in their power armor, especially getting off a vertibird and, you know, going through doors and stuff, I think they're smart enough to draw a question to that. And then leaving no guards around their cold fusion power source. Yeah, that was rather questionable. Some very questionable tactics, just for the sake of story, it seems, with the Brotherhood. So I think, out of anything, those are the two major points that I kind of have issue with. I didn't mind so much the beginning. I don't know how I feel about the faceplates coming off, because I kind of feel like that's something that they're going to implement in Fallout 5. You know, you'll be talking to people in their power armor, and they'll just have their faceplates up. It just kind of looks weird. Maybe it's just it looks weird that I don't like it, you know? And when Cooper was getting shot at by the Chinese soldiers, it's like, wouldn't the first thing be lower the visor? And speaking of that, it looked like new power armor, like absolutely new power armor in a moment that was deep in enemy territory, and obviously combat had been seen enough of. So a bit a bit odd to have pristine power armor that far out into the war. You would think that there would be some kind of scratches, dents, and what have you on display. So I don't know. Again, those are just the things that kind of irked me, but they weren't storyline things. They're just environmental things. So, and a little bit of the CGI for the Deathclaw, I will admit. When the Deathclaw was introduced the second time around, it did kind of look a little janky. Again, sorry Deathclaws, sorry. You know, we wave our Deathclaw flags here on the Wally Weasel channel. You have your rights. But yeah, well, you know, when we got the close-ups, it was fine. But we'll see how it goes when they are doing combat animations with the Deathclaw. Otherwise, unless they're just going to run from it, and then that'll be it. We'll see. And yeah, I don't know how long Lucy's going to be all wonked out on Wowie sauce. I would imagine within the next episode or two, they'll probably just cut it out. They'll just give her some a deck doll or something. But yeah, honestly, and at the same time, I'm a little surprised that Cooper didn't want to first go to the Lucky 38. Instead, he wanted to go to Freeside. Wasn't he looking for Mr. House? Wouldn't he kind of have an idea that House would most likely be in a Lucky 38? So you think that he would have at least approached the door and then heard the Deathclaw, or heard Lucy talking with the Deathclaw egg, and it's like, buck, 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 it's a giant chicken. You know, and kind of feel like, oh, shoot, I guess we can't go to Mr. House yet. But, yeah, I don't know. Just some thoughts. Still, all in all, it wasn't as fan servicey as last week, which was nice. You know, and we got some more lever action. So, again, overall, it's a better episode than last week, at least in terms of actually progressing the story and introducing that Stephanie is Canadian. So, you know, #1 character right there. All right. That's about it. Bye, everybody.